Hi guys, it is Elisa here, or the Diamond Stitcher as I go by on YouTube and Instagram. Hello, good morning, or good afternoon, or whatever time of day it is for you. I hope you are having a wonderful one. If you are new to my channel, first off, welcome. I'm happy you found me, and I hope you would consider subscribing and stick around for all things diamond painting. And if you are returning, thank you so much for your continued support. I just had a chuckle there because I am so out of breath today, you guys. Probably not the best day to film a WIP and Chat, but you know what? I need to film a WIP and Chat, so I'm sorry if in this video I do sound out of breath sometimes. I don't have my, filming table out all the time. I live in a small one-bedroom apartment with an open den, which my husband has the den. So when I want to film, I have a collapsible table that I put in the middle of the living room, and I pot some lights up and off I go. But it takes me like a good 20 minutes to set up because it's hard for me because of the lack of use of my arms. It is hard and I've lost my breath. So let me take a few deep breaths here and let's continue. Now, what am I doing today? I didn't even know what I'm doing, you guys. I had an awful night. I was awake middle of the night for 3 hours just ruminating on all sorts of things. I could not shut my brain off. Finally, I was able to, and I was able to catch some more sleep, but then I woke up very sick. I've got awful vertigo today. I cannot walk. I look like a drunken sailor when I try to walk. I do have a medication for it that's starting to kick in, but today's a wheelchair day. I had to walk my dog in a wheelchair. I could not manage a walk, and it's a tough day for me. But anyways, here I am. So what am I working on? I'm working on this. You might recognize it. Let me pull up I don't have the big sticker sheet here to show you, but this is the image. This is called Faye. It's by artist Hannah Lynn and Diamond Art Club. I got this from a D-stash. You guys know I love purple, and I really like this image. And when I found out Hannah Lynn was leaving Diamond Art Club, I did start collecting some of my favorite images from her because I really like working on them. And they're also very fun to bling up, but I did not bling this one up. I wish I had the energy to do that. I think it would look pretty awesome with tons of bling, but I just don't have the energy in me these days. But anyways, it's a 56 by 76. I started this actually a few weeks ago. I have this WIP going along with my Diamond Art Club mystery kit. I did work on my mystery kit last WIP and Chat, so I thought I would pull this one out this time, just in case some people missed that WIP and Chat because I was working on a mystery. I didn't give any details or anything like that, but at that day that I filmed, I really wanted to work on it. So I hope that was okay with you. I didn't hear any negative comments about it, so hopefully those of you that didn't want to see just looked away and you enjoyed the content as it was, like a podcast or an audiobook type thing. Let me just get this situated as I continue to catch my breath. First off, how are you guys doing? Please let me know in the comments how you are doing. I think in this WIP and Chat I'm going to share a lot of thoughts. Some of them may be risky. I don't know if you would call them risky, but I've had a lot of thoughts over the last 4 weeks, and I've been pretty quiet for many reasons, which I'll get into. And honestly, I'll get into it more, but let's see what I'm working with. Here I've got my Patsy putty. So this is a putty that I've been using lately. They are a USA-based shop. She does, I think next week is when she's releasing more of this basic line scent. 5 p.m. her time zone, or is it my time zone? It might be 5 p.m. Pacific. I think it is. Usually when I set alarms, it's for my time zone. So next week, Friday, after the 25th. 25th, I'm having surgery. I think that's Thursday. So the 26th is when she's restocking her basic line. And I think she does rotate scents in and out. But you can check out her Etsy shop. I really like it. It's one of the only putties I find works well with ABs 100% of the time. I don't need to switch my pen out or switch the substance out to work with ABs. So I'm really enjoying it. I have my Butterfly Effect Wears pen here. I don't know if it'll focus. There we go. The color is a little bit off, but it is a purple potion, I think is what they labeled it as. Mini pen in regular size. This is my favorite pen size from them. I really like it. I have my Bent Everlasting single placer in here, and I have my Diamond Art Club. It's probably a 7 or 8 placer in here. Let's see, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 placer. So there we go. And I've got putty in both ends. I used to be a glue dot person, and I'd put the glue dots in my single placer, but since I've been working with Patsy Putty, I've tried it in my single placer and I find it works really well. You just want to make sure you haven't overfilled it. If you do overfill a tip with putty, it can stick to the glue or surrounding diamonds. So you just want to make sure it's as level as it can be. Same thing with the multi-placer. I have it, let's see if I can show you. Nice and flat there, a little bit up, but it does work well like this. And I've been using this, I think, for a little while. I may need to switch it out. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip it. So here's a hack. Once you're using your putty and you're finding it's not as sticky, instead of throwing this out and replacing it, you actually can just flip it around and use the other side that is clean for another little while. So you get like 2 uses out of this little brick of putty. So I just pull it out as best as I can and I flip it and I push it back down. So the dirty side is now facing down, the clean putty is facing up, and I just have to work this in so it's even along the top. And then that should work just like new putty. Saves you a little extra waste, like you can use your putty for a little bit longer. So that's a hack. I can't remember if I learned that from somebody or what, but I've been doing it for the longest time now. There we go. So we are good. Actually, let me do this one too while we're here. Might as well do the single placer too. And I'm just going to pull some of that out, flip it around. It's hard when you've got big fingers. But there we go. And I'm just going to level it off there. So that's what I'm using. The tweezers, I just use tweezers for popping up diamonds that I've misplaced, or like you saw, mostly switching out the putty in my pen. These ones are actually really nice, fancy ones, I call them. They are from Canadian small shop called Realizations, Eric and Kareen. They sell diamond painting accessories like these fancy tweezers and diamond paintings and trays and pens and everything like that. Kind of a one-stop shop. Trays that I'm using today are my catered trays. I have this kit kitted up into them. I have a mix of the small and the large trays. So here's the kind of comparison. And I've kit this painting up into it. I find when I'm not doing very well medically or physically in my arms, these are the easiest way for me to continue diamond painting, and I can enjoy it for longer than if I was to pour diamonds in and out of baggies and trays. It just takes a little more effort, a little more, I get a little sore much quicker actually. And so yeah, so I've been gravitating towards these trays for a while. Recently, actually just yesterday, I've seen a whole bunch of people post. These ones are the catered brand ones. I'll put the link in the video description, but AliExpress now has them. That usually happens. Somebody invents something and then it comes out on AliExpress and all the companies are selling it for very cheap, so you can get them on there. I haven't tested them, so I don't know if they are working exactly the same. These ones work really well. They have an anti-static feature in the plastic that makes them work well. The AliExpress ones, though, I did see that they have a colored lid, and on the colored lid is another grid where you can kind of, it's the multi-placing grid, you know, where some companies have come out with, instead of just straight lines all the way down, they're in little sections, so you can multi-place. To me, I think it's just a gimmick, but some people like it. So yeah, they're on AliExpress too. I'm not going to link them, but you can go look for them. I'm sure you just search diamond painting tray and they'll probably come up. But the people that were posting them yesterday, I saw a few people and they all said that it worked good. So if you're on more of a budget and the catered trays are out of that budget, maybe check AliExpress and see what the price difference is. Again, I can't speak to the quality if they're going to work the same. So I'd only recommend buying like a few and trying it out yourself. I'm not going to go through with buying them because I already have 2 sets of catered trays. I don't need any more myself. Okay, let's get settled here. So you can see I've already done one big row. I think I've pre-cut this. I have. So what I do, this is obviously an older kit. It doesn't have the perforated cover. I don't know if you can see it here, but I do have some washi horizontally laid down. And then I took my craft scissors and cut all the way across. So I'm using this in strips. Usually I will put release papers down, but this time I'm leaving the plastic down. I'm going to pull it back and use one of the cover minders I have up here, which is one of the little roses, to hold it back. So let me just get that started here. I don't know how much space I want, but let's pull it to about there. Cover minder is this little rose thingy. They come in all sorts of different shapes, sizes, and designs, they have 2 magnets on them so that you can put one magnet under the canvas and then the fancy piece goes on top. It holds this plastic cover so it's not, you know, flapping back and forth when you're diamond painting. That's just another little hack. If you are new to the craft, if you are new to diamond painting, make sure to let me know in the comments. I always like seeing new faces. And let me know how long you've been diamond painting and what you're diamond painting right now. And yeah, I'll get to know you a little bit too. So where is the, so we kind of go to there. I have to be careful when I am doing this because my limitations with my arms and overreaching, if I want to keep everything into frame, I am going to overstretch my arm and I'm not going to be able to talk with you for very long. So I have to be very careful. And actually, I'm going to put this back because my hand was sticking in the glue there. So that's probably good for now. That's why I like a release paper. You know what? I'm going to grab a release paper. Hold on. Okay, it is a hot day in Canada. I am filming this on Saturday. What is it? The 20th? Yeah, it is Saturday the 20th. It's in the morning, about 10 o'clock in the morning. I had a really rough sleep, and when I finally did wake up, I decided to take the dog out and then roll to the coffee shop. There is a local coffee shop near me that I've been going to, and it's been really nice. I'm considered one of the regulars now, and it's been really good. What I've been doing is what I need to do actually is get some diamonds. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking to you and not place any diamonds. This release paper, by the way, is from, I think it's from Imagi Crafts by Cindy, if I'm not mistaken. It was just one that I had on my table that I grabbed there. It actually does suit the painting with the colors. And here is the catered tray. So it works really well. It acts as a storage container and a tray at the same time. These lids are locking. They're essentially an Elizabeth Ward style container with a tray base, so you can diamond paint directly from it with a multi-placer too. And yeah, let me see if we're in frame. And let's get started. So what I like to do when I'm working with the plastic cover is kind of do the outside edge first, so I know where the plastic ends or the plastic starts and the glue ends, so I am not, just so that I have an edge to work with. So there we go. Now, you guys, I don't even know where to start this Wip and Chat. I have a feeling it's going to be all over the place. I have a lot of thoughts ruminating in my head lately, and I do want to share some of them. Also, will give you a little bit of an update. Believe it or not, there are a few things that have happened this week already. I usually don't put up Wip and Chats every week, just the nature of my life right now. It's very boring, and I usually don't have a lot to say, but lately I have, I think, been putting it up. This is the 3rd week in the row that I'll have this up, and I think I'm actually going to put this up on Sunday because I do have a, well, wait, what is it? Or maybe this will go up on Monday. I can't remember. I have a new product I have to do a sneak peek for from Diamond Art Club. Can't remember if that goes up Monday or Sunday or Tuesday, so I have to figure that out. But anyway, this Wip and Chat will go up early in the week. So a little bit about my week first. So my last Wip and Chat went up last Monday or just this past Monday. I'm trying to remember because my husband has actually been off. So last week I had to get some blood work taken because I just haven't been feeling well. I've just been feeling very sick. Ever since I was in the hospital, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks ago now, I was had to spend overnight in the hospital, and then I checked myself out before the doctors wanted me to go. Everything ended up okay. What I did find out was I have a lot of gallstones in my gallbladder, and we originally thought what I went to the hospital for was severe abdominal pain and projectile vomiting of pure bile. It was very painful. My throat was sore for like a week. We thought it was due to some other causes. I've recently come to understand that I have something called gastroparesis, where my digestive tract is not working like a normal person. It's very slow. Mine is very slow, and that can make people very sick and can lead to hospitalizations too. It can lead to bowel obstruction. So they did think I had a bowel obstruction, but with the imaging, that was clear. What they did say was I was on the verge of a bowel obstruction. I had to go on a lot of laxatives, let's just say that, to make sure I didn't go through with having a bowel obstruction, because God knows I do not need that kind of surgery in my life. No, thank you. So a few weeks after I was hospitalized and I started feeling better, I had an ultrasound, and the ultrasound actually showed that my gallbladder is full of gallstones. So the surgeon, is thinking that the attack and the severe pain and the vomiting was more due to gallbladder attack instead of what we initially thought, which was the gastroparesis and you know, heading towards a bowel obstruction. So that's good news. You know, I definitely don't want a bowel obstruction, but I also was surprised to hear that my gallbladder was full of little gallstones. So I'd met with the surgeon and we decided, yeah, let's get on the list to remove it. Sounds like that was a pretty kind of black and white attack as far as what symptoms I had and how the pain radiated and how it presented. So I did sign up for the surgery. However, I've had a few attacks since then, and on Thursday, just 2 days ago, I actually had a really severe attack. It knocked me off my feet. I thought I was dying. I thought I was having a heart attack. And some of you may know I posted to the Facebook group asking you guys, what kind of symptoms did you have with your gallbladder attacks? Because the first attack I had was so severe that, you know, there was no mistaking it, but this one was more pain. I wasn't vomiting. I was very nauseous, but I wasn't vomiting. So it presented a little bit differently. So I wasn't sure, but everybody assured me, yeah, it sounds like a gallbladder attack. So I contacted my surgeon and let him know that I wasn't quite at the stage I needed to go to the hospital. I do have some medications at home that I can use that they prescribed me in case an attack happens. So those did seem to help me, and it passed within 30 minutes. So it hung around for quite a while actually, and it really took my breath away. It made me super dizzy, super clammy, very weird pain. Most of you know I'm in pain 24/7, but this was a different kind of pain that I haven't really felt before. It's very, very weird, kind of like what I would think a heart attack felt like, just a little bit lower, more on the gallbladder side of the body and not the heart side of the body. But because women present differently with heart attacks, you know, if I was maybe a little bit older, I probably would have gone into emergency and they probably would have worked me up for a heart attack just the way I would have presented. But luckily, my heart's fine. But we did order some extra blood work just to check how things are. And of course, my CRP, which is an enzyme seen in inflammation, is elevated. Some of my liver enzymes are actually elevated, which is a little bit concerning. The surgeon did say sometimes if the gallstones leave the gallbladder, they go to the liver and they can cause some damage in the liver. So I'm wondering if that's why some of my enzymes are elevated. They're not elevated like liver failure. They're very, very, like maybe 10 points elevated. So it's concerning for somebody my age with no liver problems. But I do wonder if there have been some stones that got out, and that's why the pain passed and they've been in my liver. Who knows? He said we won't know until we go in. So he decided to book me for surgery next week. So I'm going to have my gallbladder out on July 25th. So that's next Thursday. I'm actually quite nervous, which is surprising because this is probably my, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this will be my 8th surgery in under 4 years. So I'm a pro when it comes to surgery, but this is a different kind of surgery. And granted, I feel like it's less risky than my other kinds of surgeries, but it's still making me anxious because my central apnea. So I have a condition where my brain doesn't tell my lungs to breathe when I'm sleeping. It's very severe, it's very serious, and I'm on a BiPAP machine now for it, which has been treating it quite well actually, thank God. But it makes me high risk in surgery, so ever since she said that, I've been kind of very, very anxious about the thought of undergoing surgery. I mean, I've had central apnea in my last 2 surgeries, and I did quite well from it. I mean, I had to bring my breathing machine to the hospital. They probably hooked me up on BiPAP instead of whatever they usually use when they put people under surgery or under anesthetic. But I did do well, but it's still, you know, just lingering in the back of my head, her saying, you know, you are very risky now if you have surgery. And just like, why did you have to say that? You know, now you scared me. I see her in her office saying this to me, and, you know, yeah, it's made me very anxious. So I'm trying to just let that pass and trust in my healthcare providers, my surgeons. They've always taken good care of me. I have the proper machines. Everybody knows that I have this condition, so they should know how to keep me breathing And I'm going to continue to just trust that everything will work out as it's supposed to. So that surgery is going to be next Thursday. Now, content-wise, I think I have a few things filmed. I think next week, I think I will have my usual content Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Well, actually, maybe not Friday. It's not going to be a roundup. I'm not going to do a roundup next week. I'll be recovering from surgery, so it might be other pre-recorded content. I did film a couple of videos a couple days ago, actually, probably the Wednesday before I had that attack. I managed to film some videos. One of them is finishing the Christmas stocking that I unboxed, and I actually sealed it and showed you guys and talked about how to do it, and yeah, that'll be coming out. There is a video coming out, as I said, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, one of those days that's a new I guess it's a new product from Diamond Art Club. I ended up deciding to film a whole video on it. Instead of just the sneak peek, I decided to add in me working on it. Or did I film me working on it? I don't think I filmed me working on it, but I filmed it finished. So I did kind of a sneak peek with a post review, and I also sealed it so people could see what it looks like sealed and how to do it. So that will be coming out. And then there's a couple other videos I filmed, and I'm blanking on what they actually were. I might film a small shop haul later today if I have the energy in me after this, just to have that content as well. So I don't think content will be interrupted. It just depends how I recover from the surgery, how hard it is on me. I do have the condition where my automatic nervous system is broken. It's called dysautonomia. And when I have surgery, that syndrome usually gets very angry for 6 months, 3 to 6 months. It flares up. So I could be feeling pretty unwell just in general for a few weeks after my surgery. It just depends. It has to do with anesthetic and the way my body processes it. So I am... yeah, I'm not sure, but I'll do the best I can, as I always do. I might even decide to do some lives instead so that, you know, I don't have to take the time to edit. Filming videos for YouTube is actually a lot of work. I think some people think it's very easy and it's a very, you know, very easy gig. It isn't. It's a lot of work, especially when you're sick. It's not only filming, it's then you got to edit things. And I don't over edit my videos. What I usually do is I say a lot and I don't like it. So I'll edit those out, or I'll have long pauses because my brain fog just kicked in, and I'll edit long pauses out. But I generally, oops, sorry, I kicked the camera. I generally don't have, I don't edit a lot of stuff, but it does add up. If I say 100 times in a video, and, you know, editing all those little ums out can be tedious, you know. So it is a lot of work. And yeah, I don't know how I'll feel post-op. It'll just depend. Hopefully I feel better. Maybe part of the reason why I've been feeling so sick lately is the gallbladder thing. I mean, if I have an inflamed, angry gallbladder inside of me not working properly, full of stones, I'm sure it's going to leave me feeling unwell. So fingers crossed that, you know, some of the unwell that I continue to feel is from that, and this surgery will eliminate that. So that is something that came up. My husband and I had a week and a half off. I think it worked out to be a week and a half, maybe a week off. We decided to go to the lake again. That was really fun. I had a really good day that day, so it was really fun. I took my paint gem diamond painting set and I worked on a few. I'm working on the butterfly ones now. I didn't end up unboxing it. I just quickly kitted up that morning because I only had one of my other ones, which were the mandala ones. That reminds me, I have to film a post review of the paint gem mandala ones as well. Those were really fun to do, and now I'm working on the butterfly ones. So I took that to the lake. I also took a book to the lake. So I did both of that. My husband brings his book, and I actually went all the way into the water this time. So it was really fun, all the way into the water up to my neck. So yeah, I got right in there. I didn't dunk my head because I didn't want my hair to be soaking wet all day in the shade and cold, right? So I didn't do that, but I did go all the way to my neck. It was ice cold. It was really nice for the pain in my body and the inflammation. I'm sure it really did help. I wanted to go a second time, but my husband was like, no, that is way too much for us to do because the lake we go to is 2 hours away each way, so it's a long day. It's an entire adventure. But the lake we go to we really like because we have a spot there that's pretty secluded, and not right next to a lot of people, so it's a pleasant experience. My husband is quite the introvert. I am too, but him more so, so he likes to be, you know, in his own world and kind of off on his own. So it's a really nice lake that we go to. Let me get my next color here. So he said the lake was too much, so I convinced him to take me to the ocean instead. So we went down to a place near the Pacific Ocean, and we walked along the water. We took a look at some of the baby crabs when the tide was coming in. Yeah, it was coming in. It was washing in the baby crabs, so we picked up a few and watched them scurry off. It was really fun. Saw some jellyfish, and we ended up having brunch on the water because it was our anniversary. So July 14th was our 6-year anniversary. At first I said 7, but my mom corrected me. I don't know why. I always think we were married in 2017, but we were actually married in 2018. I keep joking to my husband that he needs to get a tattoo with our anniversary date because I'm no longer getting any more tattoos. They are far too painful for me these days. So I keep joking that he needs to get it because inevitably every year I get the year of our anniversary wrong. At least I get the date right and the month right. But yeah, for some reason I always think we got married a year before, but we had been together since 2011, so we've been together for quite a while. We actually never really planned to get married, but we decided to do it not really to appease our parents. Our parents weren't bothering us about getting married, but I just thought it would be the right thing to do. So that's what we did. And yeah, we celebrated our little anniversary and we said, you know, if we can get through all the stuff we've gotten through in the past 6 years, then our marriage is going to be solid the rest of our life. And it just, you know, warms my heart that I found my soulmate, I found my person. He gets me like nobody else, and he cares for me like nobody else. He always puts me first. You know, even if he's struggling and he sees me struggling, he puts his baggage away and he helps me. Like, he's just an all-around great guy. I would hope everybody's husbands were like my husband, to be honest. So I'm really, really lucky I found him. I used to joke that I found him right before, or like we got serious right before I got injured. So I kind of already had him locked in, and then I got injured, and then all of my health problems came about. So it used to be our little joke I used to tell my work colleagues and things like that. But yeah, let me look at my phone and see what else. Did I miss anything on the days that we were? I don't think so. I think that's what we did. And then we, sorry, I just remembered I had to message one of my medical providers, and now I forgot what I was talking about. It is incredibly hot in here, even though I have the AC going. I think it's just a hot day in my part of Canada. But yeah, that was about it for our week as far as what we did. And then some days we just, you know, went and got groceries, laid low at the house. I diamond painted a little bit, watched YouTube or a TV show. I started watching Dexter again, just for something to watch. I've been basically home most of the time since 2018. Is it 2018? 2016? 2018, I think. 2021 for sure is when I officially 100% went off work. I was working modified hours up until then, with breaks off for surgeries and such. But yeah, I've watched a lot of stuff, so I've ran out of shows to watch. If you know of any newish TV series on any of the platforms, let me know. I'd definitely take a look. I like things that are interesting. I don't like romance. I don't like, you know, love stories or, you know, I'm sorry, but I don't like Bridgerton. I haven't really watched it. I haven't given it the time of day. It's just usually not the kind of type of show that I find interest in. I'm trying to think of the show that I really liked. What was it called? It's a Breaking Bad. That was one I watched early off when, sorry, I'm trying to get putty off the glue here. That is one show that I watched early on. Actually, maybe I should binge that again. That was a really good series. I like shows like that that are very interesting. There's a few others, but I'm just blanking on the names of them right now. But yeah, if you know of any newer series that maybe I haven't watched that is exciting, maybe action-packed, maybe just, I don't know, exciting, interesting, not romance, then let me know in the comment section for sure. So there is stuff that I would like to talk about, and I haven't found the right words to talk about it. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it. So I've just not been talking, because also I have a lot, as you can hear, of serious medical problems going on every day. There is something wrong with me. It's exhausting, frankly. There are days like today where I still have not had the energy to shower. I need to wash my hair. It's feeling a little bit greasy and I need to wash it, and I just do not have the energy to do anything but just sit here. I'm 100% supported on the table. I'm diamond painting on. I'm slouched over. I can't breathe. Anytime I use my arms for anything, like even trying to get dressed this morning, my arms were dead. They were just dead. If my husband was home, I would have asked him to help me. Instead, I struggled through it. So I deal with, on a daily basis, guarantee you, some sort of issue, some sort of medical condition. I have so many of them. On every given day, one of them is very angry, and most often 3 of them are angry at the same time, which means it's very hard for me to get through a day just living as a human being. It's hard for me to prepare dinner. It's hard for me to chop vegetables. It's hard for me to cook lunch. It's hard for me to walk the dog. It's hard for me to literally do anything. So I struggle, basically, with real life, big problems. Now, what I'm going to say, it might not make sense. It might be a little bit all over the place, but that's just how my brain is right now. I've been contemplating talking in general about this kind of stuff for a while, many weeks. I just don't know, and even today, I don't know if I'll be able to put what my thoughts are really into words, or the right words, but I'm going to give it a try. Because last night I could not sleep. My mind was just ruminating, and it leaves me awake at night. So I started diamond painting 3 years ago, roughly 3 years ago. I think it's a little bit over 3 years now, if I remember correctly. I didn't start a YouTube channel right away, so I did not, log my dates and my completed canvases and all of the stuff people want to know. I didn't start logging that until probably 2 years into my diamond painting career. I just popped a rogue diamond off there. So yeah, so I don't have all the dates 100% nailed down, but about 3 years ago. Over 3 years ago now. I've seen a lot of stuff, you guys. I have been around a long time, and in 3 years, a lot can happen. I have seen so much conflict in this community, in general, all throughout the community, that it would probably astound you. If I could remember all of the stories, as they happened, then I would spout them off, but I can't because so much has happened, and I have like really big health problems that I focus on, so and really bad brain fog, so I can't. But just know that when I say there is always conflict in this community, and I don't want to just say this community like it's a bad thing, I think you could speak for any community, especially the larger it is. Of course, the more people are not going to get along, the more conflict there is going to be. And I've seen a lot of it. I've jumped between different friend groups for the first 2 years. I was, part of one community for sub-community, let's call it, for quite a while, until the person there, hurt me quite badly. Left that community, went to another community, hung out there for a while until somebody else really, hurt me, and left and created my own community. So I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot. I'm like a fly on the wall. I usually don't engage in conflicts, but I do watch because, you guys, I like to think that I'm a very good person. I think I show that in my own Facebook group. And I am an empath. I am somebody who takes on the emotions of others. When there is a conflict, I absorb it. Even if it has nothing to do with me at all, I still absorb it because I know when there's conflict, everybody is hurting. And I've seen it. I've seen people really hurt in this community for a variety of reasons. Regardless, people are hurting. And I absolutely hate to see people hurting. And in my ideal world, everybody would get along. Everybody would be respectful to everybody. There would be no fighting. There would be no me versus you versus them. Everybody would just get along, but unfortunately, that doesn't happen all the time. I was almost pushed out of this community twice, actually, just because of conflict that happened. Well, it had nothing really to do with me. It was more to do with other people. It kind of, at the time, ruined my taste for diamond painting. I found diamond painting at a time when I was injured from a work injury. I was being screwed around by workers' compensation. I was in a very dark place every day. I was very depressed. I was very suicidal. I lost my dream job, home injured, trying to prove my injury to insurance people who really don't give a rat's ass about me, trying to find the right treatments by the right doctors so I actually get the proper medical care It was a really dark time for me. If only I had a channel back then, you guys would have really seen me struggle. And I didn't have a channel because I didn't think I would contribute anything positive. My life was so dark and so dismal, so depressing that who would want to listen to me? And plus, I spent most days very depressed. And if you've ever suffered depression, like clinical depression, you know that you can't even get up to brush your teeth, let alone have a YouTube channel or, you know, be part of a community. The conflicts that happened back then, they made me realize, or made me feel like this community, the community that I've come to know wasn't a super safe place like I thought it was. Diamond painting became my almost reason to live, honestly, for a little while. I was so depressed. I imagine being, you know, in your 30s and you are stuck in a one-bedroom apartment 24/7. You can't leave for at least 2 to 3 years. I'm not even kidding you guys. I was so sick, so injured that I could not leave my apartment. Couldn't even go to the grocery store with my husband to help him. That's how sick I was. I didn't have my wheelchair or my walker yet, but I was so sick I was bedbound. And it didn't take very long after I started diamond painting and my injury kept progressing that I wasn't able to diamond paint as long as I used to be able to, and I started to kind of go on social media more, see that side of the community, be engaged in various Facebook groups and cheer people on and see people working on their WIPs because I couldn't physically spend 8 hours a day working on mine anymore. I could barely even spend an hour or half an hour, to be honest, some days working on it. So I kind of, you know, the social aspect, the social media aspect of the community, it became almost like a second family to me. It really did. You know, I looked forward to talking to the friends that I had made in the community and on a daily basis. And, you know, some of us became really good friends and we're still friends. Some of us were friends and we're no longer friends for various reasons. But, you know, for the longest time, the diamond painting community was my only escape from my very, very dark reality. And that is the truth. My husband, he saw how much diamond painting benefited me and my mental health, that if I had to choose preparing dinner or diamond painting in a day, he would let me choose diamond painting because he knew how much I was struggling that day. One, that's how awesome my husband is, but two, that's how bad I was back then. It was really hard, you guys. I can't even put into words how hard it was. If I could show you a movie, I think you all would have your jaws on the floor at how it was for me back then and how far I've actually come. But all of that to say, I've been around a long time. I've seen a lot of conflict, and what I learned, those two main conflicts that almost took me out of diamond painting, I vowed to never let anything do that to me again. I didn't want to give people the power to push me out of the hobby that I love, that takes me away from my daily severe pain and depression and anxiety and darkness, and I vowed to never let that happen again. So ever since then, what I've decided to do is try and stay as conflict-free as possible. I am somebody, as I said, who takes on the emotions of others. So if I know two people that are in a conflict and are fighting for whatever reason, I am going to feel sorry for both of them. I'm going to be sad for both of them, and I'm not going to stop being sad until they make up. And unfortunately, oftentimes when there's conflict, people don't make up. I had to learn to turn off that kind of emotion because it was affecting me. It was making my anxiety really high because the hobby that I went to, my sanctuary, I used to call it, that I went to for a reprieve of my daily struggles, became a struggle in itself. It became a darker place. It was no longer a sanctuary to me. That's how I felt at the time. And yeah, I vowed never to let that happen again. So since then, there have been multiple conflicts that have come up in the community, around the community, for all sorts of different reasons. And I usually stay out of it. I don't speak to it. One, it has nothing to do with me. It doesn't involve me. Two, I know how I am, and I know that I'm going to absorb all of that anxiety, all of that stress, all of the hate. I'm going to absorb it into my being, and it's going to make my anxiety really bad. And I don't have the energy to deal with really bad anxiety for somebody else. I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't. I have too many big, scary health problems to deal with that I just can't take that on myself anymore. So, you know, I vowed to keep my diamond painting space a safe one for everybody. I try to diffuse conflict as best as I can. Unfortunately, a lot of conflicts results in removing people from my Facebook group. People think that they should be able to voice their opinions no matter how mean they are and disrespectful they are, and there should be no consequences. Like I say, I need my space to remain a sanctuary, and I think a lot of people that are in my community, they've said so themselves. They have said that the reason they've stayed in my space is because I try to keep it, me and my mods, I shouldn't say just me, my mods do as well. We try and keep it a space free of any and all conflict. We try to keep conflict where conflict begins. You know, there are usually plenty of other places you can speak about any conflict going on in the community. And I because there are places for you to speak about it, I wanted my place to be the sanctuary, to be the place where people could come, not have to experience the stress. Because am I wrong? Am I the only person who is affected by conflict this much? Like, do any of you also feel icky when you see people fighting in the community? Especially if they're people you've come to know and like, or friends, or respect, and you see them, you know, in conflict with another. Does it not make you upset too? Does it not? Am I the only person who gets upset? I don't think I am. I think a lot of people do, especially if you have anxiety like I have. It's a medical condition, and we can't really control it, really, except by controlling our environment. Over the years, there have been some people I've had to remove from my group, and generally they say that the reason they were removed, there was no reason. I didn't do anything. They removed me because I was sharing my opinion. No, you guys. 100% of the time, people are removed from my diamond painting space because they are rude and disrespectful. That's one of the #1 rules I have. If you've been around any length of time, you know that means a lot to me. Always be respectful. You can have a debate and you can still be respectful, or you can share your opinion and still be respectful, but some people choose not to be. And I'm sorry, but I choose not to have that in my space. I don't want to see it because I'm going to absorb that negative energy. Now I'm going to feel like I have a conflict that I have to diffuse, and I'm going to absorb the energy of everybody involved, and it's just not something I can take on with all of the health problems I have. Unfortunately, there are some people who think this is not okay, and they think, you know, I'm squashing their freedom of speech. I'm not. Go talk about your problems elsewhere. Create a group. If that's what you want your group to be, create a group for everybody to come and vent. That's not why I created my group. I created my group to be a safe space, to be a sanctuary for people to come enjoy diamond painting and not have to deal with the outside stressors, because I didn't want anybody's diamond painting experience to be ruined like mine almost was. Being in a community kind of leadership type role, I do know that I am going to, you know, I'm going to make some people upset, and those people obviously are going to be very jaded, and they're going to continue to say horrible things. What I urge everybody to do when you hear people saying something negative about somebody else is remember you're hearing one side of the story, and the story you're hearing is probably wrong. Again, if somebody was removed from my group, they were removed because they were being very disrespectful. And unfortunately, recently with the big conflict going on in the community right now, I'm going to call it conflict, drama, I don't know what you want to call it. It's a situation is what it is going on in the community. It is affecting a lot of people, and I know that a lot of people want to talk about it, and they want to hear from us leaders what we think. Let me get my next color. I don't even know how to continue talking about this. So what I'm referencing is, of course, you know, the situation between Hannah Lynn and Diamond Art Club. And there has been a YouTube creator who's been very vocal and sharing all of the information, Diamonds and Thoughts, if you want to check her out and follow her. But I mean, well, I'm not going to say all of the information is there for everybody to make their opinion. That's wrong. We've heard one side of the story publicly. We've heard one side of the story. We haven't heard the other side of the story. I can't be the only one who's just like feeling this palpable tension in the atmosphere. I think a lot of people are just uneasy. They don't know what to think. They don't know what to say. I think it is unfair to demand that all creators, you know, speak on conflict. Like I explained earlier in my chat, the reason that I have decided to step away from all conflict within the community is because it was negatively affecting my mental health. It was taking my sanctuary of diamond painting away from me, and I just couldn't let it. My life is too horrible to allow that to happen. Diamond painting is the only hobby I'm able to do. It is really one of the only things that I find joy in these days, and it's really special to me, and I just don't want it to be ruined like it has almost been before. So I choose to kind of remain quiet and look for the facts. That's what I do. I I want the truth. I want the facts. I don't want he said, she said, and back and forth and, you know, playing telephone tag where one person says one thing. By the time it hits the 20th person, the entire message is wrong. It's completely different from the original message. All of the information was shared by Hannah Lynn on her social medias, and she shared what she wanted to share. From what I understand, Hannah Lynn, and she did say this publicly prior to kind of it becoming a situation, she did say, you know, she was leaving Diamond Art Club and she was taking the renderings with her. She believes that the renderings are her property and she wants to take the renderings and have other companies produce them exactly as they are. I don't know, just as a moral person, like I'm not a business owner. I don't understand business. I don't understand law. I don't understand copyright. I don't understand any of the big words that are being thrown around. I'm a nurse. I know how to save your life. If you come into the grocery store and you're having a heart attack, I will save your life. If you go into anaphylactic shock, I will save your life. If you come into emergency, I will save your life. But I know nothing about law, copyright, contract, art, really, any of it. I don't know anything. So I am of the position that I don't have anything to contribute because I don't know what I'm talking about, and I just don't want to be adding, you know, uneducated opinions out there to the masses when I don't know what I'm talking about. I just don't think it's fair for either side because it could be damaging to either side, right? So that is why I've chosen, one of the other reasons I've chosen to remain quiet. One, my medical conditions and my health is number one, and it's been really bad for this entire year, and it's taken up all of my energy and all of my time. Hi, Abby. She can tell I'm upset, so she's coming to check me out. Two, I know nothing about law, copyright, everything I said, I know nothing about it. And three, it's not my conflict. I always feel like there are three sides to every story. There is person one, person two, and the truth usually lies somewhere in the middle. I feel like this is an old, you know, adage or piece of wisdom that I think I was taught in elementary school. You know, the truth always lies somewhere in the middle, and you know, it's hard when you only see one side of the story to make up an opinion. It really is. And just as, for example, Marissa from Diamonds and Thoughts has every right to voice her opinion in the public manner she chose to, I think I and other people also have just as equal of a right to decide not to talk on something until we have more information. How is that wrong? I don't see how that is wrong. I've been waiting for the truth to come out just like a lot of people, and because of the multitude of health problems I deal with on a daily basis, my struggles with anxiety and depression, I've had to stay out of it. And you know, some people have given me flack for this, and it really makes my heart hurt. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I've been in tears off and on the past few weeks when this comes up, because it just breaks my heart. One, I hate conflict altogether. I just hate it. It just divides a community. It does nothing good. Nothing good ever comes of it. I've never seen anything good come out of a conflict. And I understand why, I think I understand why people might be looking up to, you know, a YouTube creator to have an opinion and to guide them in the right direction. But you have to remember that I'm just a human being. I am no more human than you are. I know nothing more than you know. I don't have the education and knowledge to synthesize what I know and form an opinion. And I've wanted to say this for a while, but again, I didn't know the right words, and I didn't think it was my place to say it. But all I know, from the limited knowledge that I know, is if I owned a diamond painting shop, and my shop was really well known for their hand renderings, and I had an artist and they wanted to take all of the renderings that I had my team make. So I have a team of artists that hand renders each painting by hand, and they're paid well for their work. And an artist wanted to take that and produce it for free with no recognition at any company that they wish. As a business owner, I think I would be really sad. I think I would cry. I think I would have a meltdown. Especially because, you know, in the realm of diamond painting, hand charting is like the gold standard. I know, you know, lots of people like different kinds of confetti and yada yada, but in general, a lot of people like hand charting. It really does clean up an image. This image I'm working on right now is hand charted, so colors are put very purposefully and it looks really good. There is a reason that not all small businesses out there have hand charting. I mean, actually lately in the last, I'm going to say 3 months, we've seen more and more small shops starting to add hand charting adding to their repertoire. Jaded Gem Shop, Enabler's Outpost. I think the one with the diamond art is starting to do hand charting now, or Aloha is doing hand charting. It's coming. People are learning, but the problem is it's not cheap. There's a reason why, you know, it's not cheap. It's hard work, and you do need a team of artists. You can't just snap your fingers and a hand rendering comes out of your brain and you're good to go. Like, it takes real talent and real artists to make a hand rendering. You have only a limited amount of DMC color codes that you can use to make the original or the rendering look as close to the original artwork as possible. I personally think it takes a really talented team of artists. They should not be discounted for not being artists because all they do is render. That's not all they do. Some of them are also artists on the side. I think it's really harmful, you know, to speak of these people like that. They are hard workers and they do their job very well. We enjoy hundreds and hundreds of diamond paintings because of the team that hand renders them. So all that to say, if I owned a business and somebody was trying to steal my hand renders that my company is known for, I would be upset. I personally don't think that's right, but I also know nothing about law and copyright. So I don't even know if my opinion is just, right? It's just from a moral standpoint, it just seems wrong. Like, does that mean that now any diamond painting shop can go and steal the renderings from another shop if they think they can produce the image, or maybe they could sell more of the image because maybe they have a wider market? Does that make it fair? I feel like that's going to shut down a lot of small businesses, and we should be the community where we support small businesses, right? So to me, I feel like if it turns out that, you know, these renderings are in fact always have been, you know, the artist's property, I envision that we're going to see some small shops close down in the future because I foresee, of course, not saying everybody would do it. I mean, I just don't think it's moral. I don't think stealing from something to get yourself ahead is a moral act. Is a good thing to do. I don't even know if I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. Why I want to talk about any of this stuff is just because it's been in my head. I'm ruminating on it. I'm not sleeping. It is affecting me. This is why I don't like conflict and I try to stay away from it in all ends. You know, I don't think it's fair to expect affiliates to speak out on topics that they really don't know anything about when they really don't know what is going on. You know, I don't know. I can't speak for other affiliates if any of them are lawyers or they understand contracts, but I sure don't. Like I said, I'm a nurse and I can save your life and I can teach you how to diamond paint, and that is about it. But I do think it's unfair to, you know, demand that people have opinions when they don't feel they are, one, maybe strong enough to have an opinion, or that they have enough of the information to form an educated opinion. You know, spreading misinformation is also very harmful and it can harm both parties too, right? So I have been just being quiet, watching and waiting for, you know, the truths to come out. That's why you haven't seen it on my channel. That's why I've decided not to promote that kind of talk in my group, is because, guys, I cannot handle it right now. I really can. I'm actually, in the past couple of days, I've actually considered just up and quitting this entire project, diamond painting, YouTube. The stress that it can bring me is not healthy, and I probably is my fault. I shouldn't let, you know, other people's stress bring me down, but I do because I'm an empath and I absorb everybody's feelings and I want everybody to be happy all of the time, which I know is never going to happen, but that's just me. That is why I became a nurse. It's just my personality. You know, I've heard people, you know, say, well, if you don't pick a side, you really are picking a side, and you guys, it's not true. It really is not true. Like I said, it is okay for somebody not to feel strong enough that they can make an educated, you know, opinion on something, public opinion on something. Bottom line, what I want to come out of this is just, you guys, be respectful. That's like my motto. That's what it all comes down to. Nobody should be receiving hate for something they said or didn't say. I think it's wrong. It just tears the community apart even more, when what we really should be doing right now is building the community up and focusing on our love of diamond painting. I hear that Marissa has actually a statement from Diamond Art Club that she'll be sharing in an upcoming video where you will hear their side of the story. I have been chatting for a very long time, you guys, and my arm is getting sore of diamond painting, but you know what? I hope this video goes well. I hope nobody is offended. Please know that I'm just sharing my thoughts and opinions, so I would expect that people do respect that. But I just wanted to give an inside look at maybe why some of us might not be making comments on things. And in my story is I have some very big, scary health problems that are taking up my time and energy. You know, I spend some days curled up in the fetal position crying, to be honest with you. Whether it's pain or sickness or stress, adding another conflict on top of it, it's already eaten me alive, you guys. The last 4 weeks, even though I have nothing to do with it, it's still eating me alive because I don't like when the community is in conflict and people are kind of at war. I just don't like that. It kind of removes that sanctuary feeling from my diamond painting space, and that's the sole reason why I chose not to talk about it in my space and my group. It's just I could not handle it, and I don't think I should be punished for that. I think it takes a very strong woman to set boundaries and, you know, stick to those boundaries for your own well-being. It takes a lot of strength to be vulnerable and tell you guys that I am struggling and I'm crying in the corner. And if you're looking to people to speak on this and you're wondering why they haven't, they probably have their own reasons, right? Who knows what's going on in their life? Who knows what they're dealing with? I know some people use YouTube as a way to feed their family, and they are the sole income earners of their family. So imagine if you were in their shoes. I think it's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more deeper than people think. People think it's just very easy, share your opinion, yada yada, but it's not, because like me, I want to remain respectful of all parties, and who knows what the truth is, right? I don't understand, and I want the truth to come out. I don't want to harm anyone's reputation or, you know, being when I can't speak onto things I don't know. So I hope that my thoughts came out clear. I hope you guys understand. I hope you still stick around. There is always going to be conflict in the community. As soon as this is over, something else is going to come up, whether, you know, it's between a shop and a shop, a member and a member in a shop. You just never know, but there's always conflict. And if you get dragged into every single conflict, it is going to ruin your hobby for you. You are not going to want to diamond paint, and you're not going to want to be part of a community. And for so many of us, this community gives us life. It is our sanctuary. It is our escape from our reality, and I think it's precious, and I would hate for somebody else to leave the hobby because of different conflicts that go on. So that is my message. Hopefully it made sense. I am having surgery next week. As I said, actually it'll probably be in a few days when this Wip and Chat goes up. It'll be on the Thursday. Not sure how long it's going to take me out. I will probably post an update in my Facebook group, so if you're not part of that, we did change the name. If you didn't notice, it's now Licensed Diamond Painting Fans Canada. That was actually our original name. If you did not know, we had changed it for a little while, but I had a group vote a couple months ago now, and everybody wanted to go back to Licensed Diamond Painting Fans Canada. That's what we did. I actually added the word friends on because anybody is allowed to join, whether you're in Canada, America, the UK, anywhere across the world. The Facebook group is open to everybody. The link for it will be in the description box of the video. I will post surgical updates on there. I may try and remember to post them to the YouTube community tab, but it's a little more convoluted. I always forget how to do it, so it's a lot easier for me to post on that Facebook group. I hope everybody is well. I hope, you know, you're not letting this conflict or situation affect you too much. I know I've let it affected me too much. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up for me, you guys. If you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It is absolutely free to do so. You can also click the notification bell to be notified when I do post new videos. And until next time, happy diamond painting, you guys. Bye.